From This Week in Trucking, this is Hot Right Now, and I'm Amy. We've kicked off 2026 with major DOT and FMCSA moves. From states being penalized for CDL issues, to diesel prices finally giving carriers a relief, and good market shifts to start the year. But before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. Your support helps us keep bringing weekly videos your way. So, the DOT has officially stripped $160 million in federal funding from California. As we've reported in several videos before, and according to FreightWaves, we know that California allowed thousands of non-domiciled CDLs remain active. Even after the driver's legal stay in the US had expired, the DOT warned California to fix the issue, and then they failed to meet the deadline set by the DOT for January 5th, 2026, to remove those expired CDLs. And after failing to remove more than 70,000 CDLs, the penalty is here. And California isn't alone. The DOT has also threatened to remove North Carolina's CDL authority over similar concerns tied to oversight and compliance failures. Here's what this means for you. Federal tolerance for loose CDL enforcement is over. If you're hiring in 2026, checking CDL validity and immigration status isn't an option. It's a must. This is protection for your business. Now for our second item. The FMCSA has confirmed that the drug and alcohol testing rates will remain the same for 2026. 50% for drugs and 10% for alcohol. So it's important to remember that since the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse are now fully connected to the DMVs, a failed test doesn't just affect one job. It can follow a driver everywhere, and even put their CDL at risk until they do the return to duty process. As you might know, every carrier is required to run a clearinghouse check before hiring any driver, run an annual check on all drivers, pull a driver immediately if they show a prohibited status, and keep clear records of every check. This isn't optional. It's part of protecting your authority. So if you hold a CDL, here's what you need to know. Federal rules apply no matter what your state allows. If marijuana is legal where you live, a positive test can still take you off the road. Trying to switch carriers won't help. Every carrier has to check the clearinghouse before hiring, and skipping a test counts as failing one. No-shows, sample tests, or refusing to get tested are treated the same as a positive result. And getting back after that isn't cheap. Most drivers who get a violation have to pay for evaluations, treatment, return to duty processes, and follow-up testing for at least a year. So bottom line, as you've always known, a clean compliance record protects your business. One bad decision can sideline your career. And now for some good news at the pump. According to the EIA, the on-diesel highway price is at $3.45 as of this week, down 0.018% from last week. This continues on a downward trend that carriers have been waiting for months. As you might know, lower diesel prices just mean better margins, more breathing room for tight loads, and finally, a little bit of relief on the cost per mile. This, of course, doesn't fix a bad rate, but it absolutely helps protect profit when freight is competitive. Finally, let's talk freight. According to DAT Trendlines, spot market activity surged at the start of this year. Comparing December 29th to January 4th and the week of January 5th to 11th, the spot load posts increased in 80%. Spot truck posts increased in a 58%. In a month-over-month view, from November to December, spot load posts increased 50%, and spot truck posts declined -3%. Here's what this tells us. Demand is rising faster than capacity, especially compared to last year. That's a positive sign for carriers now in Q1. It doesn't mean every lane is hot, but it does mean that negotiating power is tilting back to the trucks. So here's a big picture for 2026 for small carriers. In short, the DOT is done giving slack for CDL enforcement. The FMCSA compliance pressure stays high as always. Diesel prices are slowly easing up, and the spot market is finally showing some signs of strengthening. So it's shaping up to be a year where, as always, clean compliance and lane selection can make a real difference in profitability. And always remember, if you like quick updates like this, don't forget to subscribe to This Week in Trucking's free newsletter. We break down the hottest freight markets for you by equipment type. Plus, we give you interviews with carriers sharing their real cost per mile and profits, so you know what's actually working out for everyone right now. I always leave you a link to subscribe in the description or in the comments of our videos. And let me know in the comments what you're feeling right now in Q1 out there on the road, and if you're feeling any shifts. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and drive safe.